Hello everyone. Hold on. That's better. You were too far. Hi everyone, how's it going? So today we're back and we've got a drink of the day. Some Earl Grey tea in my new cute little purple mug. I don't know if it's purple or gray or both, but it's really cute. I don't know. Hold on. There we go. It's cute, hey. Anyway, it's still hot. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my favorite shows. Since last week we talked about movies, I wanted to dive into some of the shows I watch and my favorite ones. Now, I don't know why this was so much harder than the movies, honestly. I have this thing where I will just rewatch shows over and over again, and I know that it has to do with the comfort of it and the comfort of the fact that you know what's gonna happen, but that limits the shows that I watch. Don't get me wrong, I still watch plenty of shows. Right now, actually, I just started Attack on Titans. First time watching it. I like it so far. I've only got like a couple episodes in, but I'm also someone that starts shows and then doesn't finish them, even if I really like them. Like, I started Sons of Anarchy and I'm in like season 4 or 5, but I just stopped. And what was another one? I started Vikings and I also didn't finish it. I don't know what it is. But today, more specifically, we're going to talk about my favorite ones, my top 3, but also just go through a list of the ones that I watched a lot growing up. Most of them you will probably know. So I'll go from 3 to 1 just because it feels right to save the best for last, in my opinion. So number 3, I chose The Walking Dead. Now, that being said, I have a bone to pick with this show. Let's just say that, and I will get to that later. Also forgot to mention that I will let you know when I'm about to talk about a spoiler, obviously. Anyway, I think I've rewatched the show about 3 times, which is not a lot for me, but I really love this show. I do. I really like the acting in it. I like the zombies. I like the suspense of it. I feel like I'm always on the edge of my seat with the show, and that's what I love. Even though I've watched it already and I somewhat know what's coming, I'm still surprised, and I'm still like, I still get the jump scares and I still whatnot. I'm gonna let you know what my favorite characters are of each show. My top has to be Michonne, just because she's a badass. I want to be as brave as her, and I want a katana, and I want like 2 zombies following me around. Like, that is crazy. Then we gotta go with Glenn. Obviously, I think he's everyone's favorite. Honestly, I think Daryl. Daryl is also up there for me. He's also a badass. I think in the show, it's mostly how they can handle themselves. Like, I would love to be a part of a show like this. It seems so fun to film and like act in it. Now, let's get into the spoilers part, because now the only thing about this show is that I did not finish it. Just because of that one thing everyone knows I'm talking about. Everyone that has watched the show knows what I'm talking about. I can't even say it. I'm not gonna say it. We know. We know what I'm talking about. After that, everything was ruined. And I rewatched this with my boyfriend a couple months ago. It was his first time watching it. And I was like, I'm gonna guarantee you're gonna want to stop watching at some point. I said that to him, and he was like, no, like, I really like this show. Like, I think I'm gonna go through all of it. And I was like, okay. And we got to that point, and he was like, he was distraught. He was, right? Like everyone was. And he was like, I'm gonna try to push past it. I'm gonna try to finish it. And that did not end up happening, because it's not the same. It's not, like, why would you? Anyways, I remember I watched this, like that season as it was airing, and I had to wait a week for each episode to come out. And I remember I got to the end of like the episode before where you didn't know who it was. And then I remember watching that episode with my parents. And we, like all three of us, had our jaws on the floor. Like, at that point, the first time watching it, I hadn't seen the past seasons because I was too young when they came out. So I wasn't, like, I loved Glenn from what I had seen, but I hadn't had that connection that my parents had because they had watched all of it. And then the second time watching, I remember I didn't quite recall who it was because I watched it like years after that. And I was like, I kind of remembered, I was like, it can't be him. He's like obviously everyone's favorite. It can't be him. It was him. It was Glenn. I think that show scarred everyone. I think it definitely traumatized some people, including myself. It's still a great show. Like, I'll rewatch it, but I just won't go past that point, unfortunately. Unfortunately, yeah. Because what? Let's move on. Number 2. Oh my god, New Girl. Now, if you haven't watched New Girl, please, 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 please go do so. Now, if I'm gonna recommend a show to you, it's gonna be New Girl. Not even my top show, honestly, because I know that certain shows aren't for everybody, but I feel like everyone that watches New Girl enjoys it. And I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Anyway, it's just so lighthearted and funny. It's so funny. Like, I have cried laughing from a scene. I don't know, it just brings me so much joy and comfort whenever I watch it. And the characters, obviously, Nick is my favorite, and then it's Schmidt. They are really funny individually, like whenever they have scenes apart, but whenever they're together, it is just another level of comedy, and I cannot explain it. You just have to see it for yourself if you haven't seen it. The scene where they're talking about the goddamn cookie, I also have to say that I would love to be a part of something like this. Like, it's just a bunch of hilarious friends that get to make jokes in front of a camera. It's just a show that I can just sit back and relax and watch with no worries. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you have not watched New Girl, please, 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 please take the time to do so if you like comedies and just having a good time. Now let's get into the spoilers. The love dynamics in this show, when I tell you I melted when I saw Nick's face when Jess came out with her little black dress for her date. You can't do that and then wait like 2-3 seasons for them to like kiss, and then I forget if they even get together at that point, but like I do love a good slow burn, I can't lie. But I don't know if this is true or not. I heard somewhere scrolling through TikTok and seeing stuff about shows and whatever, but let me know if I'm wrong, but I heard somewhere that they didn't initially have planned to have them end up together. What? What do you mean? It was meant to be, like, from the first, like, very first episode. It's just such a beautiful story, and I love them so much. That scene when they first make out in the hallway, I think about that a lot. A lot more than I should. Now let me say, I love Schmidt with all my heart, but I will never forgive him for cheating on CZ. I'll never forget. I'll never forget. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. It made me mad. But they are also adorable. Moving on to my favorite show of all time. Now, if you know me, if you have been following me for the amount of time that I've been on social media, you know what's coming. You know damn well what's coming. Criminal Minds. I'm super, like, I don't know how to talk about this because this show is so unbelievably comforting to me, but it shouldn't be. It's a little bit concerning that it is, honestly, because there is some messed up stuff that goes on in that show. Let's just put it that way. Now, why do I love this show? So, I love psychology and profiling and all that stuff. Like, that, I just find that so interesting, and like understanding the way a human's mind works is one thing, and then trying to understand the mind of a serial killer or a criminal, that is just mind-blowing to me. Criminal Minds, when I watched it during the pandemic, was kind of when I realized that I wanted to pursue acting full on, because before then I had watched Grey's Anatomy and all these other shows, and I always wanted to be whatever I was watching. So when I was watching Grey's Anatomy, I wanted to be a surgeon. And when I was watching Vampire Diaries, I wanted to be a vampire. And when I was watching H2O, I wanted to be a mermaid. And then when I was watching Criminal Minds, I wanted to be a profiler. It's like, Jesus, okay, I need to decide what I want to be. And then I was like, hold on. If I act, I can be whatever I want. I can be a million different things, and I can try a million different careers and be different people, and I could be a vampire. I could be a fairy if I goddamn wanted to. Anyways, that's besides the point. I'm getting off track. Another big reason why I loved Criminal Minds so much was because of the characters. Now, this is possibly the only reason this show is so comforting to me, is because I grew such love for all of the characters in this show. I feel like as you go through the show, you just keep understanding them more, and you think, oh, it's just a little silly show about bad people and then trying to figure out these bad people. No, you see these characters develop. I think we all know who my favorite character is. So Spencer Reid is my favorite character of all time. Like in shows, in movies, in books, in anything. And like, when I tell you, my teen self was obsessed with this man. And he set my standards super high, but besides the point. So much stuff happened to him. He was kidnapped, and then the whole Dilaudid thing happened, and then the Maeve thing happened. Honestly, I think I could... Should I recite some lines for you? Because I will.
I have a lot going on, right?
You know what I think it is? You're mad that Hotch and I controlled our micro-expressions at the hospital, and you weren't able to detect our deception. You think it's about my profiling skills? Jennifer, listen, the only reason you were able to manage my perceptions is because I trusted you. I came into your house for 10 weeks in a row crying over losing a friend, and not once did you have the decency to tell me the truth. I couldn't. You couldn't, or you wouldn't. No, I couldn't.
What if
We're just taking a lot again. Would you let me? You didn't. Yeah.
Never thought about it.
Spence. I'm sorry.
Ian Doyle, a personal one.
A young boy's life was at stake. I ran the probability of his survival, and it wasn't good. If you want to punish me for taking a risk, then I encourage you to do that, but do not put the rest of my team on trial for something that I suggested.
Calm down, Agent.
This is Calm, and it's Doctor.
No, we are not letting him out of here, Reed.
Emily.
God, that feels good. Also, can we just talk about the episodes Matthew Gray Gubler directed? Because I think those were the most jarring for sure. You could just tell when they were being directed by Matthew Gay Gugler because it just has a different vibe and it's just like eerie and creepy and I love it. Okay, I feel I gotta move on because I've been talking about this for too long now. Now let's go through some of the shows that I love and have watched and rewatched a lot. First, we gotta go with Friends. Friends was such a big part of my childhood. I've rewatched this show plenty of times and I am planning to rewatch soon. I think everyone just loves this show and it's just one of the best shows of all time. Okay, now I've recently watched this show. My boyfriend made me watch it. It has potential of becoming my, like it could end up in my top 3. The only reason why I didn't put it in there is because I feel like for me to have it in my top 3, I have to at least want to rewatch it like 3 or 4 times, right? I just watched this. It was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Why did no one warn me? Insane. It's super good and it does have a very good chance of being one of my top 3 shows. How I Met Your Mother. Also great show, super hilarious. I love every character. Again, I think you're seeing a pattern in the type of shows. How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, Friends are kind of in the same little genre. Dr. House, so entertaining. Also so unbelievably funny. Like his dry sense of humor and his sarcasm, on point. Stranger Things is an amazing show. I watched it a ton. I think everyone did. I had a big like 70s, 80s phase because of the show. And I'm so extremely excited about this last season. I don't know what to expect. I'm also kind of scared, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't really know what to expect. Anyways, we are done here. Please, if you have not watched any of these shows and from what I have said, it has interested you in watching it, please do. You will not regret it. If you have any recommendations for me, please, please, please give them to me. I love sitting down and just with my snacks and putting something on the TV. Like I love doing that and just watching good stuff that makes me feel a lot. Anyways, until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed.